Hello there YouTube, Team Buddyfight PR here again, and this time with a deck profile update for my Skull Warriors. So Skull Warriors is a pretty aggressive deck, uses a lot of gauge. So yeah, for size 1s I run 2 of the Virgin Trollmakers. I was gonna run the Yaki Karasu, but I decided to run this guy considering Yaki Karasu needs 1 gauge in order to go, and this guy, well, in a pinch hits a lot better considering hits a free cost. His stars are low, but still. He's a 1/2/2 with the move ability. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Plus, I like bears. Next, 2 of the Moss Wall. I'm running 2 and 1 in the side deck in case I'm playing against decks that don't really have that much power, or in case I need more defense in a deck. But he's pretty much just pay 1 gauge to call him. He's a 1/2/6, so he's extremely high defense, and the difference between this and the Steel Crab is that he has 2 critical and 1,000 more defense, and I think the Steel Crab has 3,000 power. Next, 3 splitting Irukamarus. This is just your basic vanilla. It's a 3/2/2, and yeah, that's all there is to it. Next, 2 undefeatable Tsuishis. This guy is pretty much one of your gauge helpers. I was gonna run the Demon Key Iomaru, but I decided to run this guy for now. Considering Iomaru first, I haven't been able to find it. Like, people don't have him over here apparently. And second, I haven't found a consistent way to play him, because I normally just revive Kimen size in order to do penetrate damage. So I decided to run this guy instead, and yeah, so far he's been working extremely well. He's a 4/2/1, cannot be called to the center, but at the end of your turn, you can take any number of Skull Wars, including him, and send him to your gauge. So he's pretty much your gauge recycler. Next, 3 Blood Knife Kimentais. I run 1 more in the sideboard. Mostly because of Seeger or other decks that have a lot of Soul Guard. But it's pretty much your 4/1 with Penetrate, and at the end of the turn he dies. So if I don't have Yamagisu, I can just send him to the gauge with a Tsuishi, and if not, he dies and I can just cast Gepakuri. There are like a lot of ways that I can use him. Next, obviously 4 of my body, the Evo Heart Yamagisune. You pay 1 gauge to call him. He's a 5/2/1, and his ability to darkness is that whenever a Skull Warrior deals damage, including him, by sending them to the drop zone, you get to draw 1 card. So he's pretty much your draw engine, and although for now I'm thinking of adding 3 Electron Ninja Shidens and changing some of the spells. At least the Borgambus, I'm thinking of changing them for Snake Gaze in order to be able to use a Shiden's ability. So yeah, for size 2s, I run 4 Gara O's. He's pretty much your double attacker in the deck. He's an extremely good card. He's a 3/2/5. His ability is Gyro Slash. You pay 1 gauge, and he gets a 3,000 power and double attack, but at the end of the turn he dies. The best thing about this is that you can keep paying gauge in order to increase his power. So yeah. Next, 2 of the Defiant Sabi Fukuro. He's a 4/2/3, and when he enters the field, you take any monster from your deck and you send it straight to the drop zone. So he's pretty much you could call him your searcher, because pretty much Skull Warriors they work with the drop zone. So he's pretty much your searcher. You can just send whatever you want to a drop zone. Next, 2 of the Cat Shadow Aohimes. This is your searcher for Return to the Underworld. She's a 5/4. You call her by paying 1 gauge. And when she enters the field, by discarding 1 card, you can search for any Demon Way set spell. This also works in the water deck, because their set spell is a Demon Way and in yards. But yeah, you pay 1 life to call her. You can pretty much discard any size 1 Scorer from your hand, because you can just revive them. And what you're gonna search for with this is pretty much Return to the Underworld. So for spells, I'm running 4 of the Art of Body Replacements. This is pretty much, I think, a staple in any Katana World deck. It's your basic nullifier. So long as it's not a link attack, it nullifies the attack. Next, 3 Art of Explosive Hades Fall. I decided to run 3 because 4 was getting too cloggy. I run size 3s as a sideboard in case I need to battle a Ancient World. But the only reason why I'm running this is because first it allows you to search. Also because you can pretty much annoy decks like Jackknife, Seeger, any deck that consists of a specific size. You can just troll them really easily. Or you can just use it for damage, because what this does is you pay 1 gauge, you set it, you take any monster from your deck, you place it into a soul, and if your opponent puts a monster of the same size as the monster in the soul, you reveal it, you destroy his monster, and he takes 2 damage. And even if the monster is not destroyed, he's still gonna take the 2 damage. So it's a really good card. Next, 4 creates Rarities. This is your gauge adder. It's a counter spell. You can only use it once per turn, but you gain 3 gauge by casting it, so it's pretty good. Next, 3 Demon Way Gepakuri. This is pretty much one of the main spells of the deck. I used to run at 4, but like the same as Hades Fall, it started getting too cloggy. Mostly because either my opponent wouldn't have monsters in play, or when one of my monsters would die, my opponent either didn't have monsters or they used something to counter it. So I just decided to run a 3. And what this does is that whenever one of your monsters dies, you cast it and usually one of your opponent's monsters. So that's your removal spell. Next, 4 Demon Way Obarogan Boost. This is an extremely good card, especially for Katana. You can only cast it if you don't have any monster in your center. But what it does is that it nullifies any type of attack. So that's extremely well. And second, again, like I said, it's a nullifier, which Katana really needs it, because they need more defense. And it's a counter, obviously. What else? Oh, it's a Demon Way, so with the size 3 that I run, you can just search it back to your hand, spam it. Next, 2 Demon Way Sakura Fubugis. You pay 2 lives when your opponent casts a spell, and you nullify any spell that your opponent casts. So it's an extremely good card. I run at 2 mostly because I use it for endgame, but you can run at 3. I wouldn't go higher than 3 because this is Katana. You need to, this is making you pay lives. Plus, since it's Katana, they don't really have any life gainers. At least Skull Warriors, I don't think they have. Next, obviously, the main spell of the deck, the Return to the Underworld spell. You pay 1 gauge, and you revive any size 1. You can only use it once per copy, but that's what you're running for. And finally, 2 Demon Way Karakurenais. This is the impact. To use it, your opponent has to have 2 or less lives, 4 or less lives, and if I'm not mistaken, neither of us can have a monster in the center. Yeah, neither of us can have a monster in the center, but that's easy to make with Yamaguchi skill. So yeah, there's that. And now for the sideboard. The sideboard right now I have it a little bit high because I'm still working on it. But 1 Moss Ball. Let her explain what that does. 1 Kimensa. 3 Garo, mainly for power. There's a 722, size 1, and he dies at the end of the turn. But he's only in the sideboard because of that 7. 2 Flash Strike Yamahevis. When he enters the field, you destroy any size 1 or less. And at the end of the turn he dies, he's a 5/1, size 2. 2 of the Blade Tigers. He's a 3 critical, 6,000 power, 1 defense. So yeah. And now for my size 3, which is the Evil Sense Yomokosame. You play 3 gates to call him. He's a 7/7. And you take any demon away from your drop zone. You place it into your hand, and then you take 3 cards from your opponent's drop zone. Well, up to 3, and you can put them at the bottom of your deck. So this is extremely good against Skullbar decks, Jackknives decks, Gold Raiders in specific, because of the spell that they have that allows them to take forms into and place them in the soul. So this is pretty much one of those cards that is gonna pretty much mess up your drop zone. Next, 4 of the 5 finally stored Onimarus. I'm planning on putting at 2. It's a 6/3 item. You pay 1 gauge to equip it. And for starters, when you equip it, you take the top 2 cards of your deck, you place it into its soul. And at the end of the turn, if it's tapped, in other words, if you attack, you take 1 soul out. If you can't take any souls, he dies, so it's only good for 3 attacks. Next, 1 Art of Item Blasting. You pay 2 gauge to destroy an item. It's a counter. So I normally use this against Dragon World or Danger World, but other than that I don't really use it in the deck. That's why it's inside deck. 2 Body Helps. Pay 3 gauge. Draw 2 cards. This right now, if I get the Shieldings, then I'm gonna take this out, because Shielding is a more consistent drawing power than this. Next, 3 Demon Way Nori the Kagami. I only use this in when I need that extra defense, because otherwise I don't, considering you need to pay 1 gauge to use it. And you may only cast it if your opponent attacks your monster in the center, which is easy because they're probably gonna attack Yamaguchi. You nullify the attack if it's not a link attack, so that's why I also run in sideboard. And if the attack was nullified, you destroy any size 2 or less monster that attacks. So that's pretty much good, but because of the 1 gauge cost, I don't really run it. And finally, 1 Demon Way Sakura Fubuki. Again, this you shouldn't go higher than 3, and you shouldn't go lower than 2, because it's a great endgame card. But yeah. Also, you can use it for making yourself a great dragon. Anything that searches, you can just nullify it. And yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna be making more updates soon. I need to make a trade binder update, because I don't think I've made a trade binder update in a while. So yeah, that's it. So bye.